Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Troublemaker. This is Wargame AirLand Battles Clash of the Clans 2, a 4v4 tournament that is in its twilight? Is it a twilight? Anyway, we have a big in-clan battle here. Of course, there were two WTF teams. And our first WTF team is the original Golden Boys, the clan WTF, with Random, Skydrake, Spectre, and Greedy. And their opponents, also in the WTF clan, are the WTF FTW clan, with this person being Enoka, Rebar, Fever55, and Lonefield. Yes, I said it, Fever55. Obviously, they're all-star player, possibly. All these players, of course, are all very, very good, and this would be the semi-quarter-final match in which the loser will fall into the loser's bracket, and the winner will move on to face No Unit. No Unit, of course, have been very dominating, so it'll be interesting to see who can challenge them, both in this tournament and in the Go For Wargame Cup. Yeah, so this map has this really interesting feature here. This is a really oddball map. Basically, the first person who can get an infantry into one of these things, these towns here, is a pretty big winner. However, getting infantry to this point gets pretty hard because it's a giant open field, which means that a lot of AT can be very, very, very useful. And the person who controls these areas here can place AT, AA, and also infantry to protect it against attacks, while allowing for some pretty awesome maneuvers into their base. It also allows you to secure this location here, this magical base here, and also in turn makes all these other bases very vulnerable. If you were to capture Lima and Echo, Charlie would become very hittable, as would Delta. And the same is true if you were to catch Lima and Echo, you can hit Delta or you can hit Golf. So very, very scary but important location. In the last match against No Unit, it was actually a pretty good effort, but there's actually too much emphasis put on this at one point, as the big reinforcement point is right here. And this course is as well a very important place. It is a leapfrog across the map. Now, we're into a new patch, we're into a new metagame, and in this new metagame, we're not seeing a ton of helicopters, airborne infantry. And in the old metagame, basically people would have a lot of these airborne infantry, they move them across the map, get them to this location at all costs. Even if the helicopter died, some members would survive and they grab one of these bases and entrench. Now in the current metagame, of course, they've changed it so that when a helicopter of 10 people dies, all 10 people die. The only ones who can survive are helicopters with 15 units, which of course are insanely rare, and you pay the big premium for that. So we're about to get this match underway. Any second now. Still loading out units and launching beacons. And away we go. It's not happening. I can't stretch that out. Any second now, this game will begin. Of course, there are, since it's a kind of a friendly clan meet, they will be playing with them. Now, right off the bat, we have a Yak coming out with some air support from our blue NATO players, which of course is WTF. We have Tomcats and Starfighters. No napalm from them. They'll be going purely on air superiority. Another Tomcat gets rallied out to try and deal with this. Now, if they can deflect this Yak, that is huge. Keep in mind that this Yak metagame is not as important as it used to be. Look at this great smoke here from Skydrake. We'll immediately grab this location. And there's a big T-72 rush here coming up from Enoka. Enoka loves these big tank rushes. Big, big fan of them. T-72 is your cost-effective fighter, and the T-80 is coming in the back with T-64s. He's going to try and force his way through with some mean, brute force. All the while, we have some helicopters running to the front here from Fiva, not particularly being well, knocking down a lot of units. And a Spetsnaz will move in position, but there's also Fusiliers here, 20 Fusiliers. We've also been able to get that location. So far, looks like the game is going massively in favor of the original WTF team, as massive numbers of tanks from Anoka have been wiped out. Anti-tank gun Milans have been super cost effective, doing really well, and looks like this isn't stopping for FIVA. He's got his first wave with his first wave of infantry, that is his Spetsnaz, but now he's coming with more. Napalms have been dropped on these locations to try and add a little bit of support, but it looks like no support so far. Oh my god, he moved out of the building and actually took some pretty insane damage here. Another group of infantry, the Moto Sturakis from P55 can take position, and we have a pretty big roundup of nice balanced units. Speaking of the middle base location here, we're seeing lots of infantry fighting insanely high amounts of numbers, and this is the kind of unit fight we're kind of expecting. Lone Field has ridiculous amounts of infantry here against Dirty D. It looks pretty balanced, however, pretty even, as this half is still being maintained by Yago commanders. If this big giant group of Henvatstrendens, I don't know how to pronounce that one, Henvarnissions, if they can get knocked out, keep in mind, there's a lot of them. They're good. This group here of Morskaya Pejotas do have to move up, of course, if they want to engage this. Or even this group of U.S. Marines here to try and help that way. And looks like the Foxtrot base might, in fact, go to WTF. In fact, it will. They have maintained a good position here around the rally point, and are firing with a Centurion Mark V Canadian tank. Ooh, goes down. There is a good position here, however, from Rebar, firing with some pretty insanely long-range T-64 shots. And that means anything that's getting rallied here will immediately get picked off. A Leopard 2A4 is coming to support. The command, in fact, was killed by a Yak. Insanely good attack here, but this causes Dirty D to rally in another command. And a command is actually being placed here by Rebar, I guess, yes, Rebar. And now he's rallying in some AT infantry. He probably just doesn't know that there's lots of infantry here already. Immediately dumps them. AT infantry will begin to fire, and will he be able to get a shot off from the Leopard? And that's his prize. That's what he did this for. One big miss. It actually has napalm coming out now. This is getting kind of ridiculous pretty fast. All the infantry are in retreat. The Conqueror's able to get another pot shot off, maybe? Miss again. Ooh, just not getting the shots he needs right now. A BMPT also joining the fray, trying to do some big hits. And here comes a big old intruder. Ooh, big hits. T-62 gets hit. Leopard 2A4 is now refocused his attention to his BBT, who is actually going to try and take out a helicopter. Here comes the Corsair, though, for the second round of attacks. Could knock out Hussard. Wrong target, you fool. Leopard 2A4 is pretty well cornered here, knows it, and is trying to do as much damage as he can before he dies. And it will be relatively soon, as there is a T-80A pounding on him. On this northern flank, we can see here, Leopard 2A4 is actually charging all the way in. The Conquerors are completely out of the rockets, and there is a command here, but the command is not being pulled back. It looks like it will, in fact, go down, as the Leopard is making ground very quickly. And it's just out of the base. It is moving away. There was one last rally in of some AA, but it looks like it will get chewed up by the fire pretty quickly. This battle for the middle has pretty well evened out. The U.S. Marines here have, in fact, reinforced the area, and it has become a big little battle of who has more infantry in their deck, who can throw away more infantry faster. The command is, in fact, able to pull back just in time. There's going to be some T-64s and T-80As trying to cover its retreat. Going to save yourself in the force here and hope that Leopard 2A4 does, in fact, peek out. Is he actually able to get thin borders for a second? But, ooh, is this a big mistake? Leopard 2A4 is winding up actually hitting a Prizik Igla in the distance. Very good. Now note this location has in fact gone to our blue players, to the original WTF clan. This has made the advance into this very secure. They can go along the long road here and get a very quick advance. However, this location has been seized by the Wargame Cup original champion P55, as not too much is actually able to push through here. Just a lot of infantry, and looks like a lot of pretty poor play, throwing some vehicles into the mess of infantry. Speaking of infantry, this battle for the middle will continue on, and it looks like things might be turning a little bit in favor, just a little bit, of Dirty D. He's proving to have more infantry, and of course, without this reinforcement point, this is a very long attack path here for our red players. They won't be able to engage that. Now they have in fact they have recaptured this, but they need to actually get some more forward emplacements. They need to get this bush, this town, and this bush in order to maintain this supply line to the middle. If they can do that, they will be in good shape. Intruder, though, is coming in. Will it get the big kill on the command? Big stun. Oh, 2 hit points left. They know it's there, though. It has been confirmed. And now they can do some stuff. But Meg is stunned. Will the Meg go down? Spinning around, just dies randomly. Speaking of which, a command has been placed here by Dirty D, and a second one as well from Spectard. This is becoming a pretty important part of the meta. Buying an extra command, placing them away from the command, having them sit there, and that way when you can clear out an area like this, you'll have an extra command available for that location. Nothing being wasted here at all. Now, speaking of which, this is far from secure for Red. Yes, they have some units in position. That is great, but they don't actually have a lot of vehicles here. They have a call from help from Dirty D. I don't know why. Possibly this one BTR-60 PB that is just mercilessly moving its way slowly here, and a number of units have been rallied in to try and deal with that. Speaking of middle being a big battle, we have a pink engagement here. These are one of these rare ones in which units jump on top of each other and are fighting in equal numbers and equal value. And so far, the higher Heiser might have in fact taken this. They will grab this location. The Moto Strivakis will get kicked out. There will be some more reinforcing units going to try and grab an adjacent area. And yes, they do. And they will join in the fight, but not before these Moto Strelkis will no doubt die. I think it's 21 versus 2. The odds cannot be any more out of favor for the Moto Strelkis. With only one left, this zone does in fact go to blue. And Dirty D will continue advancing using the leapfrogging technique. Moving army from base to base, pushing forward until they can finally hit attack range. Moving on to this top flank here, looks like a Bukmi was rallied out for a second and is going to go down from a Super Intendard strike. Prisik Igla doesn't get the kill there and will be very close to out of ammunition. Now note, one command did die here from a pretty brutal attack, and the second backup command here is still in place and might be moving around. No, the UAZ has repositioned itself. It is now neutralizing this point. A huge napalm actually hits this location. Able to get a few vehicle kills here, all for freezies. And yeah, finally we have P55 able to stop this base, and it's been a +2 this entire time. That's a pretty brutal thing to come back from. A +2 is absolutely brutal. They're now 200 points behind, and it's becoming questionable as to whether or not they can actually come back. The big difference, of course, is the northern flank right now. The northern flank, of course, is what blue has neutralized, and there is not a similar position here on the bottom. There's great, huge forward forces. Not a huge overcommitment, but lots of great defensive combinations. We have our anti-tank guns, we have our infantry, we have vehicles, everything here that is needed in great, perfect positions. Speaking of which, we have an intruder going to come in and try and get another kill again. It's going the wrong way, though. It's actually going to spin around. Will it go for a UAZ kill? That's the big question. No, it is not. Random, what are you doing, you fool? Throws away the intruder. There is going to be a helicopter, but it gets picked off immediately. There is Kalinjago Panzers, I guess, firing on this single Morsek Pyote. I should have taken more languages. And here comes a second Corsair. Hopefully this one does a little more work. Keep in mind, they know that this command is here. It's within vision. The Hussars are in fact giving them vision. They know it's there. They can kill it. Evac Winchester has been called, however, and another Corsair lost for absolutely nothing. Here comes an intruder. Will it get the kill? And keep in mind, they kind of want to get it. Oh, God. Command's going to get pulled, going to get moved. Nothing gets shot there. This has got to be absolutely mind-blowing here for the original WTF team. Because here they are, throwing all they got, the old standard tactics. And here comes another one. Here comes another one. This is the fourth plane to kill this single UAZ, and this one looks like it's got the payload off. Will it do the damage? It's spreading out, and it completely misses. Rebar with a crazy good pullback just in time, able to force them to waste their resources, and able to do it all in very, very good time. Speaking of which, random Jaegers here. How'd they get there? And will be able to pick off quite a few units. Still has all its weapons on. Command here has been wiped out as well. So now we're at +3. This is getting pretty brutal. Seeing some pretty solid play here from WTF FTW, but they need to play the position game. They need to play for keeps. And right now, we're looking at this very brutal situation in which they could be kicked out into the loser's bracket, which is something nobody saw. This was seen as one of the top challenging teams in the entire tournament. And currently just not doing so hot. There is a VAB here sneaking around here from Spectre. This could be devastating. This team's already been hurt pretty bad. if they lose this command, that would be really bad. That's a 2-point base. There's absolutely nothing here defending it. There's no vision here. The UAZ cannot see this. All he has to do is get into this woods, knock out this command, and that's it. That's all of the marbles done. We have some vehicles moving up here to try and prevent this line, try and take out whatever AA they can. There's a BMPT here, however, to support, but these are 4 Commando Jago Panzers. That's a lot of freaking words. Here comes our Corsair. Will he throw it away? Looks like the fire is good. There's no pullback this time. And he gets a big hit. There's 4 hit points left on it. 3 hit points. Come on. 2. 1. Gone. The command is gone. That's a pretty big hit. We're now at +4. This is an absolute raffle stomp at this point. There's no more reinforcement here for WTF FTW. They are absolutely stuck with whatever forces they have. A very good HE bomb goes off. It is good. It stuns. It does the damage it needs to do. T-72s are coming to try and support. Will it be enough? I don't know. Blue has retaken this position, and they can now have some tank destroyers coming from behind. They're actually going to rally those very heavy, tanky Centurion Mark 5s, and they'll be coming in from a flanking position on these T-72s and this BMPT. This is brutal. They move the command back just for a second to try and get into the bushes. Centurions are coming in from the flanking maneuver, actually targeting down some Urals instead of these nice, juicy tanks, I guess. And stun happens. One of them goes down. T-72 goes down as well. And here we go. The Leopard has joined the fray. He will lead the charge. Centurion's not so good on range. This BMPT should no doubt go down, as well we see an AMC-10 RCSB, which is a tank destroyer vehicle, coming down the line. BMPT just nearly gets away, but not for too long. He only has 5 hit points left in as the remainder of the bulk of army. This is what we call hoarding resources. When you have a power move, you wait with all your resources, and when the time is right, you unload with ridiculous numbers of forces. And this is what they've been waiting for, this one magical moment. A lot of people will do this. Dirty D and Random have been both stockpiling, and now they might just bravo on. Speaking of which, the VAB was unsuccessful. The UAZ was pulled back by Lonefield as a helicopter came in here with a Redvedska squad to try and intercept this, and it is picked off. But on this main Foxtrot flank, things are not going to work well for FTW for to win, as they've been pushed back at this location, and the blue invasion continues. They will be sliding down this road with lots of ridiculous infantry, and they're just going in for it. They're going in for Bravo. This is something, unfortunately, we haven't seen a lot in any of the tournaments we've seen or any of the play. That is, once you break the camel's back, that is this front line. You keep pushing in. You go for its legs. And it can't stand on its legs because it's a freaking camel. Camels need their backs for support. That made a lot more sense in my head. I'll be completely honest. But here we go. This is the big new flank right now. We see 8 infantry moving in. These ones seem to be stopped and slowed. There's another 2 to try and grab this wood location. Some vehicles going to try and grab 4 locations. And tanks trying to move up to this front as well. Trying to get us surrounded on this Bravo base. And this is the kind of paradigm we're talking about. If you grab a forward reinforcement point up here, you can attack here. Similarly, if you grab this, you can attack this into this. Is this a moderate map imbalance? Absolutely. This is not a reinforcement point. This is a reinforcement point. But it works both ways, people. It works both ways. Speaking of moderation, we have Herr Regiment going to invade against some Nomorskaya Pehotas. God, people must think I'm retarded. And more infantry are coming in. They're trying to get a complete surround here. They probably realize what will be the big defensive location here. It wasn't here. They moved from here. They gotta know it's either here, and this bush is here, or here. Only 2 possible places for it to be. As more infantry move up, grab that great forward position. And we're really slowing down the games here. Super Nintendo is going to try and grab a kill. They actually get the AA there. That's pretty big, which means they'll be able to pound that location again. Look at how many freaking OSAs and AA here. Honestly, FIFA is the only one who's able to hold ground, unfortunately. And it's unfortunate because I didn't go any further than that. It looks like we're going to see the Delta base finally going to be grabbed here by WTF. And look at the number of tanks rolling in here. This is going to be a pretty big battle. Now, it's called for the 70%, which is... Oh my god! We have the first surrender here in Noka from the southern flank. Has in fact surrendered, realizing that this is an impossible fight to win. They are too far behind. He is out of there. No doubt a rage quit. I know the guy Rebar also out. Looks like this is going to be a pretty big victory for WTF question mark versus WTF FTW. Always sad to see a clan versus clan match in which one clan wins over the others distinctively. However, I was told that during this time, Inoka, Rebar, Fiva, Longfield were not practicing. Fiva, of course, is a doctor in training, so he doesn't have as much time to play as he might. And yeah, they'll be in the losers bracket, but I will say don't count these guys out. They're all exceptional players. They all do very, very well. And I expect them to be in the semifinals or in the finals of the losers bracket. Who knows? That was FTW versus WTF in the quarterfinals. My name is Troublemaker. I will see you guys next time.